Okay, in this video, we are going to be covering endocrinology for the Connect lab review. And what you can see here on top is a bunch of choices. You see inhibiting hormones, prolactin, ADH, thyroxine, epinephrine, glucagon, insulin, calcitonin, cortisol, and estrogen. And what you need to do is drag and drop these hormones that are linked to the appropriate gland that secretes or releases them. So it's really testing a few bits of information, right? So if we look here in the center, you have to know that that is referring to the pancreas. When we look below that, you need to know that we're talking about the thyroid. On the bottom right, you have to know we're looking at the ovary. On the top right, above here is the thalamus, below it is the hypothalamus. Top left, we have to know, okay, it's thalamus, hypothalamus, infundibulum, pituitary. So now you have to know what the pituitary hormones are. On the lower left, you have to say, all right, well, here is the kidney. Above the kidney is the suprarenal gland, also known as the adrenal gland. So what are the adrenal hormones? What are the hormones that are released by the cortex as well as the medulla? And so it's really a great slide that covers a little bit and can kind of get you focused on studying structure function. So here, the pituitary, prolactin, and ADH. Now, they could have gone a step further and only highlight the anterior pituitary or only highlight the posterior pituitary. If it was posterior pituitary, it's ADH. Anterior pituitary, prolactin. Remember, the posterior pituitary, which is the neurohypophysis, is responsible for ADH and oxytocin. And then prolactin, FSH, growth hormone, right? All those others are anterior. All right, now we're looking at the pancreas, and the pancreas is composed of a bunch of cells. It's not being specific here. Here, they're just talking about, all right, insulin and glucagon. So insulin is designed to decrease blood sugar, whereas glucagon is designed to increase blood sugar. Here's the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus can secrete releasing hormones or inhibiting hormones, like thyroid releasing hormone, TRH. Okay. All right, bottom left, we're looking at the adrenal gland or the suprarenal, epinephrine and cortisol. Epinephrine and norepinephrine are released by the adrenal medulla, which is more internal, and then the cortex does cortisol, cortisone, corticosterone. So the glucocorticoids are released by the cortex. And then epinephrine and norepinephrine, those are catecholamines, which is released by the adrenal medulla. Here is the thyroid. So thyroxine, which is T4, and calcitonin. Calcitonin is, remember, is the hormone that is designed to decrease bone density. To decrease the amount of calcium in bone. So if your calcium levels are too high in your blood, then calcitonin takes that additional calcium and tries to drive it in the bone. Or it'll at least excrete it through the kidneys, or it will turn off the ability of vitamin D to absorb more from your digestive tract. And then on the bottom right is the ovaries, and we have the sex hormone estrogen here. All right, now here we're looking at the thyroid gland. Here's the throat. So of these choices, the only one that seems appropriate is thyroid gland. Now here, they're still pointing to the thyroid, but they're looking at what is that middle section, right? You have your two lobes on each side, and what connects the lobe is called the thyroid isthmus. Okay, now what do we have here? Look at the choices. So these are going to be the follicular cells of the thyroid. These are the follicular cells of the thyroid. These are the parafollicular cells of the thyroid. This entire thing that's highlighted in blue, all of these are follicles or thyroid follicles. Here, the fluid, the blue stuff in the inside, this is the follicular colloid of the thyroid. Follicular colloid of the thyroid. Now, this is not the thyroid, this is the parathyroid. You can see all the choices, parathyroid, parathyroid, parathyroid. These two relate to the pancreas, right? Pancreatic acinar cells or pancreatic islet cells. The islet cells are involved with either the alpha cells or beta cells. Those are islet cells. The pancreatic acinar cells, those are, it's actually exocrine in function, and it makes up, I don't know, 80, 90% of the pancreatic cells or pancreatic acinar, and they release digestive enzymes. These are the chief cells of the parathyroid gland, chief cells. Okay, we'll take a pause here, and when we come back, we will continue with the pancreas.